Viktor Bobyrenko, an analyst at the Bureau of Policy and Analysis of Ukraine, believes that the landscape of the Sumy region and the nature of modern warfare will prevent Russian forces from breaking through Ukrainian defenses. To avoid sparking panic, let me say right away, a large-scale breakthrough in the style of World War II is not possible in Sumy. People here remember 2022, when Russia advanced and was, so to speak, on the outskirts of Sumy by midday. By February the 25th, the city was sealed off and under siege for a month. Today, there will be no such breakthrough where the enemy reaches Sumy in a day. Warfare is different now. It's simply not feasible because the terrain between the Siverskyi Donets and Psel rivers is not suited for tanks. It's full of floodplains and a network of ponds. You can't maneuver tanks there. However, it's a paradise for sabotage and reconnaissance groups and snipers, a landscape with forests and woodlands, the edge of the central Russian highlands, the analyst explained on Espreso TV. According to him, Russian forces might try to use this area as a grey zone, given reports that Russia has amassed over 600,000 troops nearby. So there could be engagements similar to those near Pokrovsk, advances of maybe 500 meters a day at most. At that pace, it would take them 6 months to a year to reach Sumy. Therefore, there's no reason to panic about a rapid breakthrough in the region. Still, Russian artillery can strike up to 20 kilometers deep, as seen in Bilopilia, and FPV drones are active. For instance, on May the 17th, a minivan was hit by Russian forces, just 11 kilometers from the front line on the Sumy-Bilopilia-Put-Ivl-Lukiv-Shostka highway. The railway is nearby too. When a train runs from Sumy to Konotop, it speeds up to pass through this high-risk zone near the border. It's possible the Russians aim to cut this road, which connects Sumy with communities north of the Siverskyi Donets River. In that sense, they could advance here. But back in 1943, the Red Army advanced elsewhere, around the Pisarivka community, aiming to reach the rear of Kharkiv and sever the Sumy-Kharkiv highway and rail links. That area lies further south than where the current intense fighting is happening, Bobyrenko concluded.
UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer visited HMS Sutherland in London on Monday with European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and European Council President Antonio Costa. According to Associated Press, the visit took place after Britain and the European Union hailed a new chapter in their relationship after sealing fresh agreements on defence cooperation and easing trade flows at their first formal summit since Brexit. 5 years after the UK left the EU, ties were growing closer again as Prime Minister Keir Starmer met European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen and other senior EU officials in London for talks. The deals will slash red tape, grow the British economy and reset relations with the 27-nation trade bloc, Starmer said, while von der Leyen called the talks a historic moment that benefits both sides. He hailed Monday's agreements, the third package of trade deals struck by his government in as many weeks following accords with the US and India, as good for jobs, good for bills and good for our borders. But Britain's opposition parties slammed the deals as backtracking on Brexit and surrendering anew to the EU.
Guard! Slope! Arms! Guard! Thank you very much. Hello. Nice to meet you. Hello. This is a key member of the crew. Yeah, we're a big fan. Yeah.
President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin spoke for more than 2 hours Monday, after the White House said the U.S. leader has grown frustrated with the war in Ukraine. Trump planned a separate call with Ukrainian leader Volodymyr Zelenski in hopes of making progress toward a ceasefire. According to Associated Press, after the call, Putin said Russia was ready to continue discussing an end to the fighting, but he indicated there was no major breakthrough in what he termed a very informative and very frank conversation with Trump. Putin said the warring countries should find compromises that would suit all parties. At the same time, I would like to note that, in general, Russia's position is clear. The main thing for us is to eliminate the root causes of this crisis, the Russian president said. The White House did not immediately provide its own account of the call. Trump has struggled to end a war that began with Russia's invasion in February 2022. That makes these conversations a serious test of his reputation as a deal maker after having claimed he would quickly settle the conflict once he was back in the White House, if not even before he took office. Trump expressed his hopes for a productive day, Monday, and a ceasefire, in a social media post over the weekend. His effort will also include calls to NATO leaders. But ahead of the call, Vice President J.D. Vance said Trump is more than open to walking away from trying to end the war if he feels Putin isn't serious about negotiation. He's grown weary and frustrated with both sides of the conflict, White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt told reporters Monday ahead of the call. He has made it clear to both sides that he wants to see a peaceful resolution and ceasefire as soon as possible. The Republican president is banking on the idea that his force of personality and personal history with Putin will be enough to break any impasse over a pause in the fighting. "I'd say we're more than open to walking away," Vance told reporters before leaving Rome after meeting with Pope Leo XIV. Vance said Trump has been clear that the U.S. is not going to spin its wheels here. "We want to see outcomes." Trump's sensibilities are that he's got to get on the phone with President Putin, and that is going to clear up some of the logjam and get us to the place that we need to get to, said Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff. "I think it's going to be a very successful call."